Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. So I have a group of new books to show you. I don't think they're new releases really, but they're new to me. Um, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed Sunday's coloring chat. I hesitated to post it because I realized I got a little ranty and a little controversial on it. But at the end of the day, I was like, it is how I feel. I try to keep it somewhat clean. And yeah, I really didn't want the biggest problem was I was lazy and didn't re-record it. So anyway, it was a long one, but if you guys do want to know kind of what my life's been like the past few months or whatever, get you guys up to date on that. So if you want to go check that out. And I pre-recorded that video, so I have a 4-day weekend due to taking extra day at work and then having the 3-day weekend. And I actually use that time to go spend the night with my parents and hang out with them for a bit. I've been wanting to do that on a semi-frequent basis and hadn't really been able to do it since September, so it was nice to have the time to do that. And then last night, my husband and I had sort of a date night where we actually ordered from our local Mexican restaurant, and we watched it. We are wild and crazy people, let me tell you. We watched a documentary on speedrunning, which, if you don't know what that is people who achieve world records by running through video games as fast as possible. There's a whole community behind it. It really started with like the nostalgic games from like Nintendo and stuff, and back in the 90s. I think Doom was the first one that had like a where it would play back your movements in the game. So that I think that's where they said they think it kind of started. And so now there's people all over the world that hold records for like the fastest time to get through the Mario games and all kinds of other games. And it's my husband's really into it. That's one of the things he enjoys watching on Twitch a lot. And I don't watch it as much, but it's still very interesting to me. And I'm familiar with a lot of the people that he watches and stuff, and a couple of them were in the documentary. So it was really interesting. And so I've got he's working today. It's Tuesday. I've got one more day myself off. So I did pick up a few more books. I've got one more that's coming in that I'll probably show later this week. I'm trying to go I'm not going as slow on the book buying as I should be, but I'm going at a slower pace than I guess I was at my peak in August and September. So I did pick up these books here that I'm going to show you. So let's get started. Mystery Island by Coco Wyo is the first book. It's actually shorter than your typical size coloring book. So let's look at the Coloring Book Cafe one. So it is definitely shorter than your typical sized coloring book. That's okay. I kind of like the smaller books myself. But I really like Coco Wyo's books. I like a lot of their art that's coming out recently, and I just keep telling myself I don't need to buy any more for a while, and sure enough, one will come along that I want to snag up. So the concept behind this book is that you're actually supposed to be able to split all these pages and put them together in a story concept. Uh-oh. I hadn't looked at this. Looks like the black backing on the pages has lines running through them, but hopefully none of the pages themselves have it. So that was a problem. Haley talked about that lately, having some issues with her books that have the black pages, getting lines running through the pages. And of course, on the pages you're actually coloring. That is obviously a problem. And I mean, it's a printing quality issue that really needs to be checked. I feel like particularly some printing where Amazon prints the books doesn't do as good a job doing that. So I hope that changes in the future, because it is frustrating to get, there's no consistency to it. Like, I could get a book that looks like this, then get another book with black backing, and it's fine. And they could even be from the same place. And you can tell where they're printed, by the way. If you go to the very back, and this is how you tell it's Amazon printed too, it tells you where and when it was printed. So this one's actually from Orlando. The Coloring Book Cafe is from Texas. The North Pole Elves is from Orlando. So I don't know the rhyme or reason to it, but they usually do come from different places. So this has a little different concept in that you can, if you color all the pages and take all the pages out and then create a sheet where you put them all together, you have to mix and match. You have to move some of the scenes around, but it's supposed to create like one really big scene, which I think is pretty cool. I've seen other books do this similar kind of concept. I had one book there for a while that did something similar to this, and I thought it was a really cool idea. So it's a nameplate page, no lines running through that, so I'm pretty okay with it. So it looks like frogs, axolotls, chameleons. In this book, which is pretty cool. I feel like I have a lot of fun. Sometimes I struggle with coloring pages, like the natural colors versus like fantasy colors. In this book, I feel like obviously I can have more fun with picking different colors than what you typically would assume. And that thing is terrifying with all those teeth. I think it's supposed to be like a Venus flytrap. That's a lot of teeth. That's pretty. And it's a shame because I really do like the black backgrounds. That sometimes you get books, if they have the black backgrounds, you can see the lines in them, and it's really frustrating. But these look smooth on the sides that the pictures are actually printed on, so. This just seemed like a real fun little book. I do like the smaller books too recently, because if I can ever get myself back to consistently coloring, obviously the smaller the book, the less area you have to cover. Oh, that's a pretty picture. This would be quite a large sheet if you did pull them out and put them together, because there's quite a few pictures in here. too many skips. And then check out their other books, leave a review. And that is Mystery Island. The next one up, I know of course Christmas has already went by, however, I didn't realize Morgan O'Brien had released a new book, and so I thought I would go ahead and get it. I see some of these pictures could technically still count for winter. The Morgan O'Brien books are slightly smaller, not quite as tall as the standard size coloring books, and not quite as wide. But they're taller than like the Mystery Island book was. So. That's cute. I like that these are just little, they don't take up the whole page, so they're relatively easy colors. Of course, you could put, spend hours and hours on them if you wanted to, doing shading and whatnot. He's excited over his big fish. Oh, that's cute. I think thanks to Haley sending me that one Morgan O'Brien book as Happy Mail, I think I have all the Morgan O'Brien books now, which is great because I love his, I think it's his art. Not, it's hard to tell if Morgan O'Brien, I haven't seen anything actually from the author, so I wasn't sure. But his, I think I have all of his work now. There we go. Then we have Cute Woodland, coloring book for adults. I've mentioned, I think last week, from a Woodland book that I can't remember offhand what it was. I do love pictures of forest animals and animals in the woods. That's pretty much like one of my favorite type of books to get. Now, whether or not I actually color them is an entirely different thing, but they are some of my favorite pictures to look at. So Coloring Book Cafe had put out Cute Woodland, and this is one of the books that has some very slight shading to it, which they've done with some of their books before, and I think it looks really nice. Or outlining, I don't know how to explain it, but it's very cute though. And I actually, instead of getting the digital version, went ahead and got the paper version. And this shows many versions of the pages in the front, which you could use for practice if you wanted. That would be a cute one for next month. For Foxy February. I love the owl with his little tie. I think it's so cute. His little teeth, his little tooth sticking out. I like his little poncho there. Very cute. And the color chart. Oh, thank you, with some more information on their social media and their websites. And there is cute Woodland. Now finally, I picked up a book. I've seen this one on, I think, Haley's, Coloring with Haley's channel. I like the little Mosaic color by numbers, and these seem like they have bigger numbers, so they're a little easier to read at a glance. This is Dazzling Animals by Jennifer Rawling. I actually don't have any of her books, so that was one of the reasons I went ahead and got this one, because that would give me an opportunity to actually have a book by hers to try. Now, I don't know if I'm going to show this whole book because it's really just a bunch of blocks. But here is the palette right here. And so it's a big grid on the page with different numbers for you to color in the blocks. And it shows you the palette on the side as well. I like that these squares are a little easier to see and read than some of the books I've seen have them even smaller than this and very hard to read. So I'm not going to show you all these because they're just pages of boxes and numbers. Is there a key in the back? I don't think so. So you got to actually color these to figure out what they are, which is fine with me. I like to be surprised with my pictures, so I'm pretty cool with that. So yeah, that is what I have for you today. I'm not going to say with absolute certainty that, my plan is that Friday we get through another portion of my coloring book collection. And then I would like to do a live stream this weekend. That's kind of what I'm looking at towards the end of the week. However, we'll just have to see how I feel. It was not a super busy weekend, but a little busier than I anticipated. And today I'm trying to just take it easy and rest. But we'll just have to see what the next 3 days are like, and we'll go from there. So thanks everybody for watching, and bye for now.